We're now going to talk about the theory of reliability, right? The theory of reliability requires you to understand true score theory, right? True score theory basically states that any observation is made up of two parts, a true score and some error. And the error that we're talking about is random error. Systematic error is bias, and we're going to presume that we have eliminated that. All right. So, what is reliability? Reliability, by definition, is the repeatability, or the dependability, or the consistency of a measure. Right. So, let's presume that we give a class full of students a self-esteem measure, a 5-item self-esteem measure that ranges from, let's say, a 1 to 5 scale of scoring, and the average self-esteem is 4. We give the same test the following week, the average self-esteem is 3.8. Now, notice that in a reliable measure, we would expect there to be more or less similar results. You're not going to get the same, it's going to be more or less similar. So you have two observations. X1 is your first observation, X2 is your second observation, right? And the scores are more or less similar, right? And if the scores are similar, the only reason those scores are going to be similar, if you go back to true score theory, is because the big part of what that similarity comes from is that the measure is tapping into true score. That is the true construct, self-esteem. So a reliable measure is a measure that taps into a construct more than it gets error, right? If there's too much error, it means that the construct is not getting enough weightage. In other words, it's not a reliable measure, right? So quite simply, the only thing common is true score, right? So in statistical terms, reliability is a ratio of the true level divided by the error. So bigger the denominator, right? Bigger the error, right? Bigger the numerator, smaller the error. So in other words, it's the variance of the true score divided by the variance of the total observation. Now, the issue here, for those of you who are statistically inclined, is that the variance of the true score is something we cannot observe, because the true score is a theoretical concept. Like, we really don't know what people's true self-esteem is. There's really no, unless we had a biological measure, there really isn't a true self-esteem measure, right? All we have is the variance of the measure, that is our observations, over the two time frames. Therefore, what we understand here, or what we need to understand, is that true score being theoretical and the observer score being the only thing we have, we just can't really measure reliability accurately when we do social science measurement. And so all we can do is we can estimate reliability. We cannot calculate it exactly when it comes to the measurement of social science constructs. Each estimate attempts to capture the consequences of true score in different ways. We're going to talk about some of these methods of estimation when we talk about different types of reliability next.